Good morning and welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy presents our MLB DFS pitcher picks for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017. Hard to believe we have officially reached the end of the NHL and NBA DFS seasons. But they're right around the corner when you really think about it. We've got probably about 4.5 months for the NHL. We've got about a full 5 months for the NBA. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now we'll focus on getting a lot more baseball, football, especially NFL content. But getting a lot of baseball, football, and other sports, golf, NASCAR. We're getting a lot more content out there. We're going to have some fun things coming up on the site here in the not too distant future, so make sure to pay attention. But we're here to talk about today's baseball slate. Excellent slate of games, 15 every team in the league playing. Always a fun night. That means we've got a ton of pitching options to choose from. For the most part, I'd say the guys I like are kind of in the mid-tier and above. No real cheapy pitchers that I'm looking into tonight. Let's start things off with German Marquez at 8,500 on FanDuel. I'm actually very interested. I'm going to waste time in this video real quick to see what his price is on DraftKings, because I feel like it's slightly inflated on FanDuel. I want to see if it sits the same way on DraftKings. Yeah, on DraftKings it really doesn't. He's 6,600. He's had some good outings. I was not personally a believer of him necessarily, but we're sitting in a situation where the Phillies just don't look right at the plate. He's been all over the place in terms of his production. He's had 2 games with 8 strikeouts, 3 games with either 2 or 3 strikeouts. The earned runs aren't necessarily what we are so concerned about with him, though he does have 8 allowed in his first game against Washington and 5 against the Diamondbacks. But it's important to note that those were at Coors. Outside of Coors, he pitched an 8 strikeout game against the Diamondbacks of all teams, because they've got a great hitting environment as well. And he had a fairly decent outing with 3 strikeouts, only 1 earned run, only went 5 innings, but did make it to 101 pitches. So they're letting him pitch. That's always an important thing, especially with guys that are not expensive necessarily, as we saw last night with the guy whose name escapes me, because why wouldn't it or Brad Peacock. He was rolling the Tigers. He had like 8 strikeouts in 4.1 innings at 70 pitches, and they just gave him they pulled him out. So I think he should be good to go here. Decent matchup. The Phillies can really struggle a lot. I don't need to explain that to you. We've all seen it happen. Makes a nice cheapy play. Next up, let's go with Danny Duffy of the Kansas City Royals. He is 8,600 on FanDuel, and he is 8,800 on DraftKings. Good price for him. Has some strikeout upside to be sure. The Yankees, they're a Jekyll and Hyde team, and there's no question about that. We've seen them put together games where they're just lacing home runs and runs together like there's no tomorrow. But it seems like against good to great pitching, they've completely fallen apart. We've seen Dallas Keuchel put together pretty solid games against them. Someone else, again, whose name escapes me, did that again this weekend, I believe. So I don't think there's anything really stopping us from using Danny Duffy tonight. I really want to have some exposure to him. I think that his trajectory has been positive. He's coming off his best game of the season with 10 strikeouts. To no earned runs, and guess what? It was against this Yankees team. So there's no reason, we don't look for history to repeat itself necessarily, but especially in such a short time span, there's no reason why it shouldn't. All right, I'm going to let you guess who our last pitcher, our favorite pitcher of the night, is going to be, I will give you a hint, his initials are Clayton Kershaw. Perhaps I don't know what initials are, but nonetheless, Clayton Kershaw, come on. Every time he's on the slate, he's going to be the guy we look to, and it's been very, very disappointing for people who are putting Clayton Kershaw into their rosters thus far in 2017. We're looking at 4 starts over 8 strikeouts, 5 starts under. Now, it's important to note 2 of those games were in Coors. 3 of those games were against the Giants, and they just don't strike out much. So I'm of the opinion that we've still yet to see the best of Kershaw. He's sitting with a K9 of like 8.7 or something like that. So there's no, the downside here is there's no game in Coors. Yes, there is a game in Arizona, which I think could affect Kershaw's ownership a little bit, but I would expect him to kind of be the focal point. But it's tough to say. You have Lance McCullers just a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 below that's dealing some serious heat. He's in a pretty good spot against a Tigers team that, like I said yesterday, just couldn't find the baseball to save their lives. There's some guys on the slate, Johnny Cueto. There's enough guys on the slate that I think there could be some choices to be made. But I like Kershaw. I'm sticking with the fact that I think he's going to be able to get his stuff turned on, and that will make our top 3 tournament pitching options tonight: German Marquez, Danny Duffy, Clayton Kershaw. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Head over to Facebook, like us there, follow us on Twitter at Research and Win, and join us again tomorrow.